Hey everybody, I'm playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and we are working on the Citadel Zombies map main quest. I'm going to show you start to finish how to complete the main quest and get to the boss fight. So you're going to unlock some doors until you get up to the castle here. At the top of the castle, along the castle walls and on the opposite side of the castle door, you will find a cannon here. There is a crank next to the cannon. You're going to crank this meter all the way up until the meter is full and the cannon has turned all the way around to face the door. You're going to interact with the back of the cannon, explode this door open here. Once you get inside, you got Juggernog for you there, and then we're going to progress through the castle a little bit to the next step. The next step is going to be to progress through several doors throughout the castle, making your way down into the basement area of the castle, where you find this container here with locks on it. If you shoot the locks off of the container, the new elite enemy for this zombies map will pop out. You do have to kill this enemy. Once you do that though, he will drop a crystal. You will pick up that crystal, take it back to the same container that that enemy popped out of, and this will give you your Pack-a-Punch. From here, we're going to open up the door right next to Pack-a-Punch. It is going to gain us access to an NPC who is located in a jail cell behind the revived soda machine. Once you interact with this door, this wooden flap will fall down and an old man will start talking to you. Just follow that cutscene along until it ends. From here, we're going to go start collecting the swords, the element for the swords, and all of the incantations. To unlock the light incantation, we're going to head to the throne room, and in the back of the throne room, if you look up, you will spot a crystal. If we shoot this crystal, a beam of light will appear. So now we need to maneuver our character in such a way that if we shoot the beam of light, it becomes bolder and points itself at another crystal. So we're going to have to do this a few times. And again, like I said, it is a little bit tricky with maneuvering your character. Just move left or right, strafe a little bit, and then continue to shoot the crystal until it becomes a little bolder and aims at another crystal. Do this a few times. It is going to then aim towards an alchemist room. There are 2 crystals inside here. Once you're done inside here, the beam of light is going to position upon a bust on the table here. The beam of light on the bust will reveal a brooch that we can interact with and collect. We're going to take this item out into the throne room. A circle of light will appear on the ground, a yellow circle. We're going to place the brooch there, and then we're going to continue to kill zombies until that area disappears, revealing a small treasure chest. That's going to be your light incantation. To unlock the Void Incantation, we're going to head to the Pack-a-Punch room, and just behind that is going to be a fast travel slide that's going to take us back to the spawn area. Now, at the bottom of this slide, I am going to slow it down for you guys, but there is a raven sitting just to the right on a little ledge here. We need to shoot that raven, then the raven is going to fly out with you out of the sewer. You can see it flying there through the sky. What we did is we just progressed the round because we couldn't really see much in the sky with all of the fog. But what you need to do is you need to shoot that raven down. So eventually when you see the raven again, just move around the map. He's not always in the same area. We're going to shoot at the raven, and then eventually Liam finds the raven's claw on the ground over here. That's what we're looking for. We're going to take that Ravenclaw item down into the basement area of the castle. We're going to find the room with the square shallow pool inside it. We're going to place that Ravenclaw item into the yellow circle. We're going to simply get kills here with it until that Ravenclaw disappears and then exposes the incantation for it. And that'll be this little yellow treasure chest here. To unlock the lightning incantation, we're going to find ourselves in this little barn area. We're going to shoot a horseshoe just above the door here. So this is closer to the spawn area, just left of the spawn if you're unlocking doors that way. But we're going to take this horseshoe item and we're going to head back up to the castle walls to the cannon area. We're going to take this horseshoe and just launch ourselves out of the cannon. Once we do that, we're going to have to start looking for the horseshoe again. So just to explain that a little bit, just to preface, but we are going to shoot ourselves out of this cannon now with that horseshoe item in our inventory. However, again, just for the sake of repeating myself, for redundancy, we are going to need to find that horseshoe item again. So we launched ourselves out of that cannon. It shot us one direction and the horseshoe item a different direction. We did find it over here near where we collected it in the first place, but it is not necessarily always in the same place. So with that horseshoe item in our inventory, we're going to head down to the spawn area. Just to the right of this archway, through this archway, you will find a small yellow circle on the ground. We're going to place that horseshoe item in that yellow circle, and we're just going to simply get kills here until that item disappears. It's going to be replaced with a small yellow treasure chest. That will be your electric incantation. You will use the electric sword to open it. To unlock the fire incantation, you either need the fire sword imbued with fire element, or you can use Molotovs, but at any rate, you need to attack 3 different sort of volcano-looking mounds that are scattered throughout the map with some sort of fire element. So I'm throwing Molotovs here for the last 2, but for the first one, I used the fire sword. You're just going to, again, attack these things with fire. They will start to shoot out little fireballs that then hit the ground and turn into zombies. The last one is going to be on top of the castle front area there. And once you have all 3 of these mounds attacked with fire, a special zombie will be provided to you. So we've attacked all 3 of those mounds for the fire incantation with fire. Now we have the special zombie. Once we kill him, he's going to drop an item for us. We're going to run over and pick up that item, and we have to take it down below us. Okay, so grab the item that was provided to you by the special zombie after destroying the 3 mounds around the castle with fire. We're going to place this item inside this yellow circle here. We're going to get kills, and then once we're done, the item will disappear. It will be replaced with a small yellow chest. You will then need the fire sword to open this chest. So we're going to whack it with the fire sword there, and that will open the incantation for us. In this moment, in addition to this, we've also found a stamp, so we're going to pick up that stamp for another sword. To unlock the bastard swords, you will need a zombie with a bucket on their head. If you kill one of these zombies, he will drop a stamp. These zombies with buckets on their heads will start to appear around round 10. So once you have one of these stamps off of one of those zombies, you can unlock one of the swords. So obviously you will need 4 stamps to unlock 4 swords, and you'll just simply have to look for those zombies to do that who drop those stamps. To unlock the electrical element for the sword, what we're going to do is we're going to acquire a dead wire ammo mod, and from here we're going to shoot an electrical box on the wall. It's going to be down here just to the left if you're leaving the castle. Over here on the wall, you'll find an electrical box. If we shoot this with the dead wire ammo mod, it will spit out an item for us. We need to collect 3 of these little lightning rods. The first 2 of these lightning rods are very simple to gather. The third one is purely by chance. The third one will drop off of an enemy. So the first one, you have to shoot that electrical box. The second one would just be laying over here next to this vending machine. And then the third one, like I said, we are going to have to wait for an enemy to drop that one. While we're waiting to find the third one, though, we're going to take the first 2 that we collected. We're going to go up onto the castle walls here, and there is a pot that you can insert those 2 lightning rods into. Now, the third one came when we were randomly fighting in this throne room area here. We were fighting these zombies. I was using the light sword. It didn't really make any sense, so there's no rhyme or reason to it. It is completely random. This thing dropped right here. I picked it up. I immediately raced back outside to put the third one in the pot. But before we can do that, we need to put down the sword that we were using and go collect the electrical sword. All right, so this bastard sword for the stag, we need that for this section. Now that we have all 3 lightning rods in this pot, what we can do is we're just going to essentially stand here. We're going to wait around a little bit until our lightning sword is imbued with lightning. And once that happens, we're going to melee the pot. Do that 3 times and you have the lightning sword. With the lightning effect on your sword, you can run down and hit the lightning incantation to gain access to that. To unlock the fire element for the fire sword or the dragon sword, we're going to take that bastard sword out of the throne room off of the dragon sword statue. We're going to run up to the center area of the entrance of the castle and place that sword inside that dragon statue. Now, from here, if you look up above the statue, there is a map. We have to go to each of these locations outside the castle. You're going to interact with these little cauldrons, these fire cauldrons, and then you're going to race back to the statue and interact with the statue there. You have to do this 3 times. The first one is simple because it is close enough to that statue that you have to interact with after touching the fire cauldron. Because if you notice that your health is being depleted while you're under this effect, if you melee zombies under this effect, your health will be returned to you at that point. So it will continue to reduce. If you continue to punch zombies, it will continue to refill. The last one's going to be in the spawn area down here, and we're just going to run and make sure that we're hitting zombies along the way so that we don't die. Again, your health is depleting. You're going to want to punch zombies as they appear in front of you for these longer fire cauldrons that are further away from the dragon statue that you need to interact with. You need to do this 3 times. Once you do this the final time, there will be a bit of an interaction on the statue, and then you can pull the sword out. Now you have the fire sword. To unlock the light element for the light sword or the lion sword, we're going to grab that sword off of that statue. We have to put back the sword that we already have because we can only have one sword at a time. So we put back the fire sword, we're going to grab the light sword. We're going to head over to the speed cola machine, and with the light sword in hand, you will notice that parasites start to spawn who are glowing yellow. You have to hit those parasites. It will imbue your sword with a yellow sort of effect. Then you're going to run over to that door and melee the door. You have to do this 4 times and it will unlock a portal that you can then enter through that doorway. So here we are, we're swinging our sword at those parasites and then we're swinging the sword at the door here. Again, we've hit 4 parasites who were glowing with the light sword, and then we hit this door when the sword was lit up. It lit up the symbols on the door. We're going to enter the door and place this sword inside this altar. On the base of this altar are some symbols. This is a little bit tricky, but you do have to shoot these symbols in order. It's tricky because the symbols move around, you are timed, and zombies will eventually start to show up. It's also tricky because you can only do this once per round. So if you noticed, I entered the doorway in round 13. I'm here in round 14. I failed on round 13, so I had to wait until 14 to try this again. So what we're doing here is we are shooting the icons or the little emblems and symbols that appear on the base of the altar in the order in which they appear. So right now I'm still working on this first little round one. You have to avoid the zombies as much as possible, obviously, and you have to do this with enough time remaining before it kicks you out of this completely, and you have to wait until the next round to do it. So luckily I was able to pull this off. Once you're done, it will kill all of the zombies. You can then go collect the sword out of the altar, and you now have the light sword. Now that we have the lion sword imbued with light effect, we're going to go back to the throne room and melee the incantation box. To unlock the void or shadow element for the raven or void sword, we are going to need an item out of the alchemist's room next to the throne room. So enter this area. It is random every time. We're just simply interacting with every shelf, every drawer, and you can see Vergil actually found the antiquity there. So we're going to take this item down to the spawn area. We're going to go into the basement of the bar area, and we're going to interact with this circular item on the wall. Just like the item found in the Alchemist Lab is random, this puzzle is also random. I will put all possible puzzle combinations in the description of this video, but you are going to need to know a little bit about astrology as well, okay? So there are astrology symbols on that puzzle. You are going to need to look those up if you're unfamiliar, but once you've completed the puzzle, there are only 5 possible combinations. A void will open up on the floor right next to you with these orbs that start to move inside of it. If you shoot the orbs or move in front of the orbs and they hit you, you have to basically just do this over again. It obviously would be tricky if we were dealing with zombies in this situation, but one of our teammates is just moving the zombie around so we can do this freely. We're letting the orbs just fall into that void. You're going to follow the void around up to sort of the billiard area of that bar. Watching the void just suck in these orbs. I think it's 3 each, but once it's done, you're just going to follow that void back down to that puzzle area, the bottom basement room area. And then in front of the puzzle, the void will drop down and the sword will come out of the puzzle, drop down into that void. And now you have the void or shadow element applied to your raven or void sword. Our next puzzle is going to take us to the bar next to the spawn area. What we're looking for inside here are 6 different bottles. Each bottle is numbered, and each numbered bottle has a symbol on it. In order to reveal the symbol on the bottle, you need to interact with each bottle. And I highly recommend that you take a piece of paper and pen and you jot down the number and you try to draw the symbol as accurately as possible. While there are only 6 bottles and 6 symbols inside this bar area, there are plenty more dummy symbols that you're going to have to avoid while doing this puzzle. You'll obviously see what I'm talking about once we get down into the puzzle area, but right now we are just collecting the numbers and symbols off of these bottles in the bar. We're then going to head back up to the castle. We're going to take a detour and pick up Melee Macchiato, and we're going to take that down into the basement area of the castle. This will be in the same area as the incantation for the shadow or the void sword, but towards the back of this area with the shallow square pool, we're looking at a wall here. We're going to melee it with our melee macchiato. It's going to break the wall. Obviously, you can see swinging the sword does not work. We're going to break the wall, and it will reveal all of those symbols that we collected plus some. All right, so you can see why I was saying you do need to write some of these down. They are similar to other symbols. So if you have one person looking at them trying to describe them, that's not necessarily going to work very well, we found out. So jot them down, shoot them in the order in which they appeared on the bottles in the bar. So obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do this accurately enough and a wall will open just to the left side of all of these symbols, this puzzle here. We're almost done here. I'm just going to drag this out a little bit further so you can see the full completion of the puzzle. There it is there. And so you can see the animation occurring, obviously completed, and the door opens there on the left-hand side, revealing a book. What we need to do now is go collect the pages for this book. There are 4 pages that we need to collect for this book. They are all located in the same general area. So we're going to head just upstairs here to this rec room area. The first page that we find is going to be on the bed here. The second page is going to be by the television. The next 2 pages are on the outer perimeter of this area. So there is one located just on the edge of this box here. So we're going to grab that one. And then the last one is going to be on the outer wall opposite the couch. Put all of those pages into the book. We're going to move on to the next steps here where we have to actually identify on the pages which of these traps we need to encounter. Okay. What I mean by that is that each of those symbols on the pages corresponds to a trap on the map. So throughout the map, there are these various red traps. Once you complete one, you'll notice it's completed in the book, but you do need to do them in a particular order. Okay. So the order is going to be top left, top right, bottom right. All right, so that's the order in which you need to complete these traps. You're killing zombies inside these traps to complete the trap and then remove that symbol from the book. So just allow me to reiterate that one more time while all of these traps are being completed here on the video. What you need to do is collect the 4 pages for that book, and on those pages there are symbols as they appear inside the book. Once the book has all 4 pages of those symbols, how they appear inside that book is how you need to complete the traps throughout the map. The symbols correspond to traps. You need to complete those traps. You will need to pay close attention because the icons are very similar to each other, but once you're done, it will reveal these symbols on this wall just outside that room there. Now that we've retrieved all 4 bastard swords, we have all 4 swords imbued with their respective elements, and we have all 4 incantations unlocked, we can start to perform actions on the respective statues inside the throne room. So you're going to take your sword up to the statue that you got it from, basically. The void with the void, light with the light, electric, and fire. You're going to interact with the statue by performing an incantation, and then you're going to open up your emote wheel and you're going to inspect the sword. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. You're going to, and if you need to, there are incantations scattered throughout this room. Okay, so if you need more incantations, you can pick up the sword. You can find them in this room. You don't have to travel too far out. But once you perform the incantation, you have just enough time to inspect your sword through the emote wheel. All right, so on the Xbox controller, whatever your corresponding button is, on the Xbox controller, it's holding left on the D-pad and then pressing left on the D-pad again to inspect the weapon. So just for a 3rd or 4th time to reiterate, there are incantations scattered throughout this room. Pick up the one that you need for the respective statue. We're going to perform the incantation with the left bumper on the Xbox controller. Hold the left D-pad button down and then press the left D-pad button again. Okay, so we're performing incantations, inspecting our sword in front of the statue, and once we do that for all 4, it will shoot a beam of light towards this ball that will then drop down into the middle of the room. You can go up, interact with it, and collect that orb. Moving right along here, we have 4 swords, we have 4 elemental effects for those swords, and we have 4 incantations, as well as a magic orb that we just unlocked. Now we're going to have to place this magic orb into 4 different areas throughout the map and perform very specific tasks within that area. What I mean by that is that we're going to have to do this 4 times. They correspond to the 4 elements of the swords or the incantations. So for this one, we're just simply collecting these green health balls, essentially, for the light sword, light incantation part of all of this. Once you're done collecting all of these green orbs and fending off the zombies, you can go pick up the magic orb where you left it. You'll notice it has a little ball floating around it now. That means that you've completed that portion. We can move on to the next one. The next one's going to be down inside this area with the square shallow pool again, where you found all of the void stuff previously, or rather the Ravenclaw for the void incantation. So inside here, we're going to get void kills. We need very specifically void kills for this magic orb to then have a purple ball floating around it. We're going to grab it there. We're going to go down to the front entrance of the castle. As you can imagine, if we have electric and fire left and this one's fire, what kind of kills do we need? We need fire kills, all right? So I grabbed some Molotovs, got some fire kills, and that took care of the magic orb for the fire incantation imbuement, whatever you want to call it. So the fire portion of the magic orb, and now we're working on the electric, and that's going to be down in the spawn area for you. So we're going to pick up the magic orb from the fire section, go down into the spawn area. Right next to the incantation for the electric imbuement is going to be the area where you have to put the magic ball or the magic orb. You're going to get electric kills here. Again, same as usual. It is related to whatever the respective incantation or element is. Now that we have all 4 of those done, we have the magic orb. We're going to pluck it off the wall. You can see Vergil did that. And then we're going to take it down to that little wall there. We're going to place it inside there, and this wall is going to open up for us. You're pretty much almost done at this point. You can go fight the boss after all of this. So once this wall opens, there's going to be a bit of a pseudo cutscene. There's going to be a guy talking, and you can ultimately pick up this item here. You can take it all the way back to the spawn area. You can fend off zombies, whatever you need to do. What we did is we spent some rounds just upgrading our stuff. Once we felt like we were ready, we inserted that tube into that platform there. It takes us to the boss fight. Now, the boss fight is not necessarily that difficult. I thought personally Terminus was a lot harder just because of the platform and the water and all. So what you're having to do here is you're avoiding his area of effect attacks. He does have a lot of them. He jumps, he slams down, he swings his hammer around. But in certain situations, he will become immune once you get his damage down quite a bit. And once that happens, he will start to fill the room up with lava. This is obviously a problem because it reduces the arena, so he can swing basically anywhere and hit just about everybody, it seems like. So again, you are going to have to avoid his various attacks, and you're going to eventually get pushed closer towards him as he stays roughly in the middle and the lava starts to fill the room. He's going to be right next to you for a lot of this stuff. We did go down quite a few times, but if you got a good squad going with you into this, then you really shouldn't have any problems, especially if you're dealing with things like perks and score streaks and all of that stuff. So again, boss not too difficult in my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think. I really hope this entire walkthrough helped somebody out. If it did, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and like the channel, all of that good stuff. We will catch you guys next time.